Zion Williamson. He will miss an extended period of time with a right adductor injury.
Good, bad, no matter what's going on, greatness, you do it every day. You show up every day and you make it happen every day.
I need you to lock in for a moment because what I'm about to lay out is straight up wild, like a plot twist nobody saw coming in the NBA world. This isn't just another rumor floating around. This is the kind of talk that makes the whole league sit up and stare. Right now, reports are buzzing that league insiders seriously believe the New Orleans Pelicans are ready to move on and take, and I quote, the first decent and reasonable offer for Zion Williamson. Hearing that out loud feels unreal, almost like someone dropped a bomb in the middle of trade season.
He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. An interim head coach, James Borrego, spoke last night about the upcoming absence of Zion.
This is the type of move nobody saw coming, and it's got the whole league looking back like, wait, what just happened? The shock is real right now. Think about it for a second. We're talking about the #1 pick from the 2019 NBA draft, a two-time All-Star, a forward who was hyped up as the most explosive and entertaining player to hit the league since LeBron James. The way people talked about him had fans expecting highlight reels every night, and now suddenly his name is floating around like he's just another trade piece. This shift has everyone stunned, and the reaction is getting louder by the minute.
Talent is more of a natural thing. Like, you can look at somebody and go, okay, they're really talented. Greatness is every day. Greatness is when you don't want to do it, when you want to do it. If you're facing crazy adversity, good, bad, no matter what's going on, greatness, you do it every day. You show up every day and you make it happen every day.
One of the most naturally powerful athletes the league has ever seen. And the Pelicans are out here acting like they're ready to pass him around like he's some bargain bin pickup. The whole situation feels unreal, almost disrespectful, and fans are sitting there wondering how it even got to this point. But here's where everything flips in a totally different direction, and this twist hits hard. This season was supposed to be the big reset, the moment everything finally lined up for him. Zion showed up looking like a whole new version of himself, sharper, focused, and clearly putting in the work. The vibe around him felt different, like he was gearing up to silence every critic in the building.
They have tried just about everything. They have changed training staff. They have changed chefs. They have changed coaches.
One of the most naturally powerful athletes the league has ever seen. And the Pelicans are out here acting like they're ready to pass him around like he's some bargain bin pickup. The whole situation feels unreal, almost disrespectful, and fans are sitting there wondering how it even got to this point. But here's where everything flips in a totally different direction, and this twist hits hard. This season was supposed to be the big reset, the moment everything finally lined up for him. Zion showed up looking like a whole new version of himself, sharper, focused, and clearly putting in the work. The vibe around him felt different, like he was gearing up to silence every critic in the building.
Yeah, he looks good right now. He's slimmer than I've ever seen him during the summertime, which is always a really good sign. And I just feel like he's in a really good place mentally.
Lean, sharp, and fully locked in. That's how he showed up, and the transformation had everybody talking with shock in their voice. The man looked so different that people started cracking jokes, saying he must have found some kind of miracle weight cut plan because the change was wild. We're talking close to a 50-pound drop, looking lighter than he ever did at Duke. Even one of his own teammates said he had never seen Zion this slim, and that comment alone had fans spinning. And in those first 10 games, Zion wasn't just playing well, he was straight cooking out there, moving with crazy energy, confidence, and authority like he was finally stepping into the version of himself everyone had been waiting to see. So what happened? How do we go from Zion is finally healthy and locked in to we'll take the first offer that comes in? That kind of flip doesn't even sound logical until you step back and look at the whole picture. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down in this video, because the plot behind the scenes is even messier than people realize. When we get into what the front office did with their assets over the summer, you might want to sit down, because the decision they pulled off might be one of the wildest moves any pro franchise has made in years. And because of that choice, the Pelicans might be cornered with no real option left except to move Zion, even if nobody ever expected it to come to this.
But I think the pathway forward with Zion is continue to support him, like James Borrego said, and continue to try to exhaust all pathways to get him into a space where he can be the dominant player.
And yes, I'm breaking down which teams could actually make a real push to trade for him, because a couple of them are built to chase a championship right now, and seeing their names tied to this situation is definitely going to shock people. The idea of Zion landing with one of these squads is enough to flip the whole league conversation overnight. So let's rewind back to September, because believe it or not, the vibe around the Pelicans was finally looking solid for the first time in a long while. Zion pulled up to media day and had everyone stunned on sight. He looked like he rebuilt himself from scratch with some serious summer work. Coach Willie Green couldn't stop hyping him up, saying, "I saw his work this summer, his attention to his body, his conditioning. He wants to be available for his teammates." That kind of energy had the whole building feeling like something big was finally about to click. According to beat reporters, here's how it all went down. While Zion was rehabbing that hamstring from last season, he sat down with Pelicans trainer Daniel Bowe, and the two had a real heart-to-heart moment. Bowe basically told him, "Zion, we gotta lock in when you come back. We need you stronger than ever." From there, they built a brand new grind, boxing sessions, football-style field drills, and a bunch of fresh routines designed to rebuild him from the inside out. Zion even trained with Teresa Weatherspoon, a 5-time WNBA All-Star who had coached with the Pelicans, and Zion himself said, "It feels good to be good. I haven't felt like this since college or high school." That hit fans right in the chest, and in the preseason, Zion had everyone buzzing. Sports Illustrated reported he shot an insane 82% from the field, and in the final preseason game, he dropped 18 points on 9 for 11 shooting against the Magic. But it wasn't just the stats. His movement looked sharper, his explosiveness was back, and the fan base went wild. Even the media started buying into the comeback story, whispering that maybe, just maybe, this was finally the season everything lined up. But the hype didn't hold for long, because just like those viral summer clips of Ben Simmons shooting free throws, the pattern came right back around. The Zion injury storyline and the whole weight loss cycle reset the moment the real season started, and within weeks, the same old nightmare showed up again.
I got it checked out and got that great news. I mean, not great news, but it wasn't what I wanted to hear.
Now, to really show what's going on, I gotta drop some numbers. And honestly, these stats hit hard. According to NBA.com, ever since Zion was drafted first overall in 2019, he's only played 45% of Pelicans games. Just 45%. That means the top pick of the draft has missed more than half of his team's games across 6 seasons, which isn't just injury concerns anymore. That's straight up part-time availability. Zion is slipping into a Kawhi-style schedule, except he doesn't have any championships to back it up. And here's another wild one. According to RotoWire, Zion has logged fewer career minutes than Paolo Banchero. Think about that for a second. Paolo got drafted 3 years after Zion, and he's already played more NBA minutes. That's how rough and stop-start this whole situation has been for Zion's career, and it puts everything into perspective real quick. And this season was supposed to finally break the pattern since Zion slimmed down, right? Nope. First, he missed time with a bruised foot, then he got hit with a hamstring strain that took him out for 8 straight games. He came back on November 19th and looked solid for 5 out of 7 games, and then boom, another setback. According to the Pelicans' official statement, Zion was diagnosed with a grade 2 right hip abductor strain. He's out indefinitely, and he won't even be reevaluated for at least 3 weeks. Shams Charania reported he might not return until late December, maybe even early 2026, which had fans stunned. And here's the part that really makes the situation feel unreal. ESPN's Bobby Marks pointed out that after Zion played a career-high 70 games in the 2023-2024 season, he's only appeared in 40 total games between last season and this one. He's played 30 or fewer games in 4 of his 6 NBA seasons. The only time he ever cleared 60 games was that 2023-2024 campaign, and even then, he got hurt in the play-in and missed the entire playoff series against Oklahoma City. This pattern has become impossible for the team to ignore, and the frustration around it just keeps getting louder.
A unique contract, it's a low-risk move if you are one of those teams out there, as I said, where you're not sacrificing draft picks and significant players on your own roster.
When Zion actually hit the floor this season, he was putting up 22.1 points, 5.6 boards, and 4 assists. Real production, real impact, real presence. But the problem is, he only played 10 out of 22 games, and that right there sums up the whole Zion Williamson experience in one sentence. He's unstoppable when he's healthy, but he's rarely out there long enough to flip a franchise's future the way a #1 pick should. The new interim coach, James Borrego, tried to keep things positive, and honestly, he wasn't lying. He was just doing his job. But at some point, even the most patient coach runs out of explanations, and the Pelicans are left staring at the situation wondering if they'll ever actually get the version of Zion they were promised when he was drafted. These injuries just keep piling up, and the team is left questioning what their next move even looks like. But the true chaos starts with the Pelicans' front office, because things behind the scenes got way messier than fans even realized. First, look at the coaching situation. New Orleans fired Willie Green on November 15th after starting 2-10. And sure, he wasn't perfect, but look at the context. He went 150, 190 across 4+ seasons, while Zion missed 61% of the games he coached. Zion showed up for only 134 of the 340 games Green managed. No coach is stacking wins under conditions like that, so Borrego stepped in as interim, but he walked into a storm he didn't create. Then the offseason moves took everything to another level. The Pelicans had the Pacers pick from the Ingram trade, top 4 protected and legitimately valuable. But right before Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles, they traded that pick back to Indiana. Now the Pacers are sitting near the bottom of the league, which means the pick New Orleans gave up could easily turn into a top 5 selection in a loaded 2026 draft. And that draft might end up legendary. Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, all potential future stars. Losing that opportunity hurt in a major way, but the story gets even crazier. The Pelicans locked in on one prospect and went all in on him. They used the 23rd pick plus their own unprotected 2026 first-rounder to move up and draft Maryland big man Derek Queen at number 13 from Atlanta. Unprotected, no safety net, no protection. The better of the Pelicans or Bucks 2026 pick now goes straight to the Hawks. Derek Queen has legit potential, sure, but giving up an unprotected first-rounder is the type of gamble championship-level teams make, not a squad relying on a star who's rarely on the court. Reports say the Hawks front office couldn't believe what New Orleans was offering. Executive Bryson Graham even asked for confirmation multiple times just to make sure the Pelicans understood what they were giving up. Their GM even called Joe Dumars directly because he assumed it had to be a mistake. They were basically waiting for New Orleans to snap out of it and realize how wild this offer really was. According to CBS Sports, the rest of the league wasn't just confused, they were laughing at the Pelicans' move. One report said executives were choking at how extreme the trade looked. New Orleans had Derek Queen graded internally as a top 5 prospect, but even if he becomes great, the price they paid was unreal. They could have walked into the 2026 draft with 2 lottery picks, one possibly top 5, in a stacked class with names like AJ DeBonsa and Cameron Boozer. They were holding a golden escape route from the entire Zion situation, and they threw it away. Now they're sitting at 320, worst record in the West, no first-round pick next year, and a front office meltdown that feels unreal from every angle. So let's pull this whole picture together because even though the surface story is about Zion, the cracks go way deeper. The entire roster is falling apart. The Pelicans are 320, dead last in the West, losers in 14 of their last 15 games, and nearly tied with the Wizards for the worst record in the whole league. And it's not just Zion dealing with setbacks. DeJounte Murray, the guy they gave up Dyson Daniels and 2 first-rounders for, tore his Achilles in January and still hasn't touched the floor this season. Jordan Poole missed games too. Meanwhile, Dyson Daniels went to Atlanta, won Most Improved Player, and made an all-defensive team. The Pelicans basically handed the Hawks the foundation of a future powerhouse. But here's why the Pelicans might feel boxed into trading Zion. His contract is wild. He signed a 5-year, $197 million extension back in 2022. But because he missed more than 22 games last season, the final 3 years became non-guaranteed. In theory, the Pelicans could waive him this offseason and owe nothing, which probably won't happen. But it gives any team trading for him some real flexibility. He's making $39 million this year, then $42 million and $44 million in 2026, 2027, and 2028. That's heavyweight money, but the non-guaranteed years actually make him more movable than fans think. So here's the real dilemma. Zion's trade value. Who's giving up major assets for a player who's missed over half his career games? He's never played in a playoff series. He doesn't shoot threes. He's not a defensive stopper. And when he's hurt, he's basically a $40 million cap anchor. But when he is healthy, he's a top 20 level problem on the court. So now the real question hits. Which teams are bold enough, desperate enough, or confident enough to trade for Zion Williamson? And believe it or not, there are teams that make sense. And the most intriguing one might just be the Golden State Warriors, who have been linked to Zion and other Pelicans pieces like Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. New Orleans has shown real interest in Jonathan Kuminga, and Golden State actually has the pieces to make a legit offer if they decide to push for Zion. They've got Kuminga locked in on a 2-year, $46.8 million deal, Brandon Podziemski, who their owner keeps saying is a future All-Star, and a mountain of first-round picks in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, and 2031. And once the Stephen Curry and Draymond Green era eventually fades out, those picks could turn into real lottery treasure. A package built around Kuminga, a couple of vets for salary matching, and multiple picks could actually get a deal done. Zion is only 25, and he'd instantly become Golden State's second-best scorer while giving them a future blueprint for life after Steph. It's a risky move for sure, but the Warriors love taking bold swings. Remember, they traded for Jimmy Butler last year, and since they once helped Steph get through his early injury problems, they might believe they can guide Zion back on track too. Next up, the Sacramento Kings. They're sitting sitting at 5'16", desperate for a shakeup, and they've always been the type of team to collect talent first and figure out the fit later. Zion matches that chaotic energy perfectly. They've got trade pieces like Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis to match salaries. Is it the smartest move? Probably not. Would Sacramento still take the gamble? No question. That's their style. Then there's the Charlotte Hornets. Zion was linked to them not too long ago, and pairing him with LaMelo Ball would be wild to watch when both are healthy. The downside? LaMelo already struggles with injuries too, so putting him next to another star with availability issues is a risky combo. But when they're both on the floor, the entertainment factor would be off the charts. Charlotte could put together a package built around Colin Sexton's expiring contract, young players, and picks. Plus, it'd be almost a hometown move for Zion since he grew up right across the border in South Carolina. Here's the real truth about Zion. The talent is elite. A career average of 24.6 points per game, dominant finishing at the rim, 2 All-Star selections, and the ability to take over games in ways most players can't match. But the availability problems have completely reshaped his storyline. 6 years in, he's played only 224 regular season games and missed more than he's actually suited up for. And in the NBA, one rule never changes. The best ability is availability, and Zion just hasn't been able to give that consistently. So now the big question lands. What do you think about this entire Zion situation?